Okay, you guys, what is up? The King of Lightning is here today to do Hunter x Hunter 2011 episode 118 review. That is 118 of Hunter x Hunter. So, of course, before I get started, that link is going to be in the description box below on Crunchyroll.com. If you cannot view it due to region issues, then simply go on Google, Bing, Yahoo, whatever your favorite search engine is, either through Internet Explorer, Mozilla Firefox, Google Chrome, whatever, and simply type in Hunter x Hunter 2011, episode 118, and you will see it, I guarantee you. Also, I do want to give props to the Raichus on Patreon.com. We have reached the goal, so someone is in fact winning a PlayStation 4, which is fantastic. So props to those guys. Now, this week's episode of Hunter x Hunter, to me, I think obviously the best scene. And it wasn't Killua. Now, you would think that it would be, Killua coming down there with the lightning bolt and saving Knuckle from Yuppie. And you would assume that because I'm the King of Lightning, alright? I love lightning guys, alright? Killua was no exception. I like what he does. I mean, there are a few exceptions in certain series that I think just suck ass. And even though they're lightning users, I hate them. But Killua was not like that. Killua was actually pretty damn cool. The way he uses his electricity. And how he came there with a thunderbolt strike, and he was able to save Knuckle by paralyzing Yuppie for a few seconds, to where Knuckle got 8 blows off him. But and that sounds kind of weird. But let's move on. My favorite part in the episode was when Knuckle just hauled ass. It was after he does the 8 punches, then he does like a kick right to the face, like wing, yeah, kick right to the face, and it was awesome, cause he was mad stuffed, like yeah, I got it, kick, and then this dude hauls ass like I've never seen anyone haul ass before. I mean, he's up the slope and he's perfect form, then he rolls. Oh yeah. Then he stumbles and rolls, and he hauls ass even harder. Like, yo, I got it. I can't do anymore. I can't do it. And he's running up, and he's thinking about getting shoot to the hospital. And once he reaches the actual air, he gets airborne at some point. He's like, yeah, woohoo! And he pulls like a Super Mario, and I'm like, bro. It was just hilarious. Like, I watched that part like 8 times because it was so funny. Because he had just experienced a near death experience, and time had slowed down. And that scene was also, it was impactful, but at the same time was very comedic. And you see him contemplating why he even thinks that he's good friends with Shoot, because they've never been too close, even though they have the same master. Also, he's starting to realize that, wait a second, like, why am I doing this? Like, what's going on? And then he starts to think about all the things that he's like currently doing while he's in midair, while he's cocking back for this punch. And then he realizes, wait a second, I haven't even punched this guy yet. I amazed myself. And he's, thinking about how this sounds very similar to when you experience a near-death experience. And then we have Yuppie, he morphs back. He was about to explode, morphs back, and he's about to kill Knuckle. So, that scene right there, and the scene after Killua does the lightning bolt, to me, I think are my 2 favorite scenes. Because they just have a lot of weight. And I can't deny that Knuckle is just a hilarious guy. He is funny as all hell. Now, moving on, at the beginning, just to touch upon a few things real quick, we do see Poof and what he's doing, and Poof is actually doing something that we thought wasn't, I can't say it wasn't possible, but more so it was very unexpected. To where you would assume that he would transform into some giant, mutant butterfly creature on some Mosra. No, none of that stuff. What he's doing is that he's like breaking his body down into like smaller organisms, like microscopic organisms that can actually pass through the smoky jail. They're small enough to where they can actually pass through the gas, and they're reforming on the other side. So even though Poof is taking his time, he's actually escaping the smoky jail. And I guess the assumption here is, simply put, it would take far more time to defeat Morel, in his opinion, and escape the smoky jail through that means, as opposed to just doing it what he's doing right now, which is to break down his body and move through the smoke by these small little microorganisms. So Poof has a very unique ability, alright? And it's something that you never thought that, because after he had the whole like memory pollen thing where he could sense like your mental status, you would assume that he wouldn't have he wouldn't have an ability that's this unique, what he does. So props to him. Also, when it comes to what's going on with Icargo, we made a lot of progress there. A lot of progress. Because first of all, Icargo actually gets to the facility, and after asking the females who were still, and they're still there by the way, because they are waiting for Bizev's call. Now granted, apparently they're actually safer in this location. I mean, first of all, we do know that it's out of the reach of P2's end. That's number one. Number two is that it's like a bunker type facility, in which like it's impervious. Well, maybe not impervious, but it's highly unlikely that any chaos or any explosions or any damage on top will affect the bunker down below. Which, by the way, brings up point number 3, which is it's like I think 2 kilometers or 3 kilometers underground, so it's fairly deep. Now, the girls are actually safer there as opposed to anywhere else in the entire facility, which is, a good thumbs up. But when Icargo gets there, he can't find Palm, and there's actually Nen written on the wall, where it states that she's gonna go and, try and look at the king, so she can scope him out, so she can always know his whereabouts. But if she doesn't contact Knuckle or Nove, then she's dead, or assume that she's dead. So at this point in time, it is safe to assume that Palm is dead. And it makes perfect sense, since she was right there when Neferpitu re-engaged her net. So she was clearly sensed, and she was taken out. That's the way it appears to be. And Icargo, on the way back, because he's feeling not defeated, but he's feeling a sense of loss, even though he's never actually met Palm. Because his friends care so much about her, by default, he cares a lot about that. He cares about a lot about her. So, a roundabout means of caring, pretty much. But once he gets to the actual elevator, the only elevator back up to the surface, mind you, it's the only one, he meets up with the crab guy. And then the crab guy, they talk for a little bit. The crab guy realizes, this guy, he's either a fake, or he's being controlled, or he is betrayed, whatever. But basically, he just fires off the missile, whatever. He has like these weird like machine gun things in his claws, and he fires them. Basically, a form of a mission's net. Kind of like that one guy in the Phantom Troop, Franklin. And he's trying to get back up the elevator. Icargo's actually still fine. He was able to actually get out of the way in time. And he's hiding underneath the actual truck. And voila, that whole narration about the elevator, about how there are certain codes, and like if you don't activate the codes in time, like you'll be trapped in the elevator for like a very long time, or like you'll die at some point. Like there's some kind of like poisonous gas or something. But basically, the crab guy right now, he's pretty much fucked. At least that's the way it seems. humans. Now, we don't know how it's going to work out because it's good for humans, but remind you, these are Chimera ants. And Chimera ants, they're far more durable than humans. Now, another major part of the episode comprised pretty much Monster the UP and his analysis of the situation. And this is where we've had several character drastic changes within the course of like this 10-minute time span within the episode itself, where Neferpitu had a dramatic character change. Then we had Shoot, then Knuckle, kind of, sort of, and Yuppie, of course. And Gon's just pissed. So that's Gon. Gon's just seething. But Yuppie is now able to understand the importance of his abilities when it comes to supporting the king. And he shouldn't just be flying off the handle and just blowing shit up. No. His duty should be honing his powers, taking control of his rage, so he can benefit the king in some way, shape, or form. And right now, in his mind, the best way for him to benefit the king is to take care of the cockroaches, to clean shop, alright? And bring out the raid and start spraying these bugs out. And the raid is his rage, and the bugs are Knuckle and Shoot. So what's happening here is he starts to fake his rage to lure the cockroaches out to Knuckle. And Knuckle, we already know from last episode, he'd already made up a plan about attacking Monster the Yuppie when he was in the process of exploding. And hauling ass after that. And the plan would actually be successful if it was for the fact that Yuppie's rage was fake. So when Knuckle does come out and he does rush him, he gets learned to the explosion. Fake, yeah. About to punch him. And then in comes the lightning. In comes the electricity from Killua. And Killua's actually like, for some, he has the confidence. And this is what, caught me off guard. Killua has the confidence to vent some anger, quote unquote, against someone like Yuppie. And you're like, bro, wait, we've seen Yuppie in action. Yuppie is disgusting. He's a monster. He has the most DC of the Royal Guard by far. The most physical strength by far. So it's like, why would you... Like, Nick, no. So, but apparently Killua has that much faith in his own abilities. So... Kilu... I'm just saying, man. We don't know how it's going to pan out. We have no idea. But Yuppie did take the first lightning bolt just fine. He was A-okay. He was like, okay, fine. Whatever, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm okay. He was cool. So, it is what it is. But when we move on, well, maybe Killua was just doing like I wouldn't say like a warm-up shot, but maybe it wasn't all out. And he's coming down now, we can see his eyes. He's not exactly in the normal frame. Well, he is, but he's pissed. You can tell he's very pissed, but he's very upset about the situation that occurred between him and Gon. It's still affecting him. And mind you, it's only been like 10, 5, 3 minutes. So, it hasn't been more than 30 minutes, pretty much. And he's still affected by what Gon said. So, he's coming down there to vent some stress. So he can get on with the actual mission at hand. So, that being said, the episode overall. Now, first of all, animation. Mixed thoughts. Because the animation at some points, I thought that was actually very good. But other parts, I thought that it was... because when it came to near the scene, where we have Knuckle and like he's running towards, and like Yuppie, slow motion, I get that. But then when Yuppie fakes it, and like he morphs back, then we see his fist expand, and like we see a fist rushing towards him. Even though it was a good scene, for some reason, I felt that the animation could have been better. Not only in that scene, but also in the scenes after, where in which it was like Knuckles' face was like half whited out. And then you can see like all the scenes that occurred like during most of the Chimerian arc, involving Knuckles, Shoot, Morel, Gon, Killua, and so on and so forth. And he's saying his final farewells, like he's sorry he failed. So that scene, I also felt that it could have been better animated, but overall it wasn't like too bad. Pacing, I actually am happy that we did make progression with the cargo story. Now, granted, What I can say is that, and this is my personal opinion, I'll be very honest, out of all the like subplots going on, the sub-stories, the cargo one I found to be the least interesting, only because he's going for Palm. And unless you have some kind of, to put it simply, Palm isn't of great relevance. She's not. I mean, finding her would be beneficial for Gon and the others in a sense of it's just relief that she's alive. But Palm has no relevance at this point in time. So the fact that we did make progression in the cargo story, in the cargo subplot, and half the episode was still dedicated to the Knuckle and Yuppie, I found to be a big plus in my personal opinion. So that's the pacing. The pacing I thought was actually pretty good. And finally, I can't really say that there's character development in any of the characters in this episode, but it was enjoyable to see the occurrences involving the characters, especially Knuckle, because Knuckle, again, it was hilarious. Again, there is a bias here because Knuckle reminds me of Kuwabara. He does. Him and Leorio. And which is why they're one of my two. Well, Leorio is like my favorite. Alright? And then everyone like falls on after like Leorio. That's just the way it is. Alright? You got a problem with that? I don't really care. So, that being said, the episode overall, I thought was actually a very good one. So I'm going to give it a good plus. I mean, despite the animation, could have been better at some parts, in my personal opinion, I'm going to give it a good plus overall. And what we're going to see from Killer right now, you can tell from the preview, Killer has some new thing going on, and I'm not going to spoil it. But you can clearly see that over the course of the few weeks or the few months, since his fight against those fish guys, when he met Icargo, you can clearly see that he's developed some kind of nen. You know, he's developed his skills even further. He's honed his lightning transformation of his nen. And I don't know if you can say the same thing for Gon. More or less, Gon's just mad. I mean, Gon may have been this way the entire time, but when he actually got truly pissed, then you're like, oh, ooh, okay, alright. So, yeah. And I'm just going to throw it out there. So, I mean, you can argue that Killua has made more, at this point in time, you can safely argue that Killua has made more progress when it comes to his nen ability than Gon at this current point in time. But that's it. So, I'm going to give this rating of a good plus once again. King Lightning. Be sure, of course, rate the video, comment, and subscribe as always. Peace. Have a nice day.